All right, folks, welcome back on in Handicap Sports Podcast. I'm your boy JZ Sports. On tap this week, the RBC Heritage down in South Carolina, Hilton Head, South Carolina, Harbour Town Golf Links course. Um, Week after the Masters, great Masters tournament that'll all be on, HKS Week 12 coming in Tuesday morning. But we got a nice tournament this week. We got another elevated event down in South Carolina. Let's hop right into it. RBC Heritage, Harbour Town Golf Links. The course is Harbour Town Golf Links. It's a par 71, about 7,100 yards. A huge difference from last week at Augusta. Like I mentioned last week, Augusta was a dominant driver heavy type track. This is the complete opposite. You're not going to see a lot of players with drivers in their hands this week. It's very short and it's a positional type course. Water hazards can be found on all 18 holes, but they really don't come into play, so don't be worrying too much regarding the hazards. Fairways are Celebration Bermuda overseeded with perennial rye, 29-yard fairways. Like I said, very narrow fairways. Um, this is the ultimate Pete Dye positional type course. It's target golf. There's dog legs. There's natural woodlands, overhanging, trees and fairway lines. Um, and the greens here are Poa Trivialis, 11 and a half on the Stimp, 3,700 square feet, small, second smallest on tour. And there's only three par fives here, so we won't be looking too much into par five scoring like we were looking at to last week. But yeah, like I said, this course is known to be one that is short. It's a positional type course. A lot of guys are going to be using long irons off the tee. A lot of guys are going to be using 3 wood, 5 wood off the tee. And the main thing here is to make sure you position yourself on the right side of the fairway. Sometimes, if you're on the right side of the rough, it's better than being on the wrong side of the fairway. So, knowing where to place your drives in order to start attacking these pins is the name of the game here. You know, and that's pretty much why we'll talk about that going down here more. But I didn't really model out driving distance. I really didn't model out driving accuracy because driver really rarely is hit here. I think it only comes into play on a couple holes. So once we get off the tee, I'll kind of run through the stats in that sense. But to give you a little bit on the course, that's what we're working with, this week. Just some background on the tournament. The RBC Heritage is a staple on the PGA Tour. It's been an annual event since 1969. It's a big tradition. It's played after the Masters, which we had last week. John Rahm came out victorious. It's just a little nugget. It's just a little trend here that I'm dishing out on these weekly previews. 13 out of the last 16 champions at the RBC Heritage. I'm sorry. Um, have played in the Masters the week prior. So that's just a little nugget to keep into mind. And this year's, like I said, elevated event, we're going to be headlined by the big dogs. John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy actually withdrew Monday morning, so he will not be participating in the tournament. Then you got your whole other guys, Morikawa, Cantlay, JT's back in. I think he's sub 9,000 in DFS, so that might be a nice little a nice cheapie that you guys could hop in on in the DFS space. So that's the background on the RBC. Let's go over the winners a little bit and kind of see where the winning scores have been. Jordan Spieth last year win over Patrick Cantlay in a playoff at 13 under. In 2021, Stewie Cink over Emiliano Grillo and Harold Varner winning score at 15 under. Webb over Answer at 21 under. 2019 CT Pan over Kuchar at 11 under. 2018 Satoshi Kadaria over Siwoo Kim in a playoff at 12 under. Wesley Bryan over Luke Donald 2017 at 12 under. Going back to 2017. The one in 2020 when Webb beat Answer at 21 under, that was the COVID year. So it was like the first or second tournament. I think it was the second or third tournament where everyone came back from COVID. So, that just take that one with a grain of salt. We're usually going to see the winners here, I would say, in between 12 under and 16 under. It's not a birdie fest at all. You're going to see a lot of pars here, and the way to make bogey here is to position yourself on the fairway or on the right side of the fairway or rough to go attack those pins. That's the name of the game this week. Now more diving into the course. Harbour Town Golf Links, really anybody compete here at any type of game, even if you are a long driver, the golf ball, that doesn't matter. If you're good off the tee, if you have a good drive percentage, if you give yourself a chance to hit the green in regulation, you're going to be good here. It's just a matter of knowing where to place your ball on your drives. Harbour Town, like I said, short and positional style course, and it's very narrow. Distance doesn't matter here. More times than not, drivers rarely used. Um, yeah, like I said, Kuchar actually said it really, really good. Kuchar, quote Matt Kuchar, it's so unique with the tree line fairways, with the ability to basically recall and remember every hole. You have to play chess around the golf course and position yourself off the tee. If you are offline, it's not that your ball is necessary in a hazard. You have a recovery shot, but you will not have to be creative. The greens are basically on the same level of the fairway. They're not perched up with bunkers everywhere. You can actually run them up on the greens. They're small greens. So exactly like you said, position yourself and try to find ways to score here on these small greens. Once we get into more of the stats, we'll kind of go around the green play, talking about those small greens and how important that might be this week, but a little different than what we saw last week at Augusta, where around the green play was a little bit more harder because they were chipping off of short grass and just onto much heavier undulated green complexes, faster green complexes, etc. So let's go off the tee first. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of long irons here. Long irons, 3 wood and 5 wood being teed up, not driver. It featured the 4th lowest driving distance last year, and every season it has ranked inside the top 5 in lowest driving distance. You're not going to see driver here. If you're going to want, if you're going to, I mean, you can hit driver, but you're not going to outpower the course. If you hit your driver like, I don't know, 265, 270, which we rarely see on the PGA Tour, only a select few of guys, sure, use driver. But the name of the game here is to be able to control your ball in the air off the tee to position yourself well on the fairway. In terms of accuracy, I'm not modeling out accuracy at all. No, because in the model with the accuracy, it's driving accuracy. No one's going to be using driver. So what I want to look at more is good drive percentage. Good drive percentage on less than driver golf courses. That's the name of the game this week. So I modeled out short golf courses and good drive percentage on those golf courses. The top players in my model off the tee in less than driver golf courses are Scotty Scheffler, Emiliano Grillo, Cam Young, Buckley, Cam Davis, Keith Mitchell, Sung J M, and Corey Connors. Just to rattle off a few. And yeah, making sure you're on that right side of the fairway or even rough is going to be important this week. Moving on to approach play. It's a short to middle iron type course. 17% of approach shots last year came from 125 to 150. 19% of approach shots came from 150 to 175 yards. 27% of approach shots came from 175 to 200 yards. Top players in my model for short to mid iron play: Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, Tom Kim, JT, Henley, Hoagie, and Mark Hubbard. And then I kind of made a section for that little bucket of 175 to 200. Because like we said, 20%, 27% of shots are coming from that little bucket. Kind of more, not so much on the long iron, but can be a little bit of a short iron at that 175 mark. Top players there are Finau, Hoagie, Kurt Kitayama, John Rahm, Satoshi Kodaira, Taylor Pendrith, Rory McIlroy, and Chez Reavie. Approach play is huge this week. It's huge this week to enable yourself to put one within 15 for birdie every single time, giving yourself a shot at birdie, tap in par is perfect. You're going to want to, like I said, the par fives not really big this week. It really doesn't model out in being successful. Of course, if you're scoring on the par fives, it's great, but there's one extra par four. So make sure you're dialing in on the par fours, playing good golf there. You should be pretty successful here. Around the green play, it's one of the lowest screen and regulation percentage. Around the green play is going to be important, but it's going to be a bit different than last week at Augusta. Chipping on that short grass onto undulated greens, lightning fast greens, very hard to do. It's total opposite here at Harbour Town Golf Links. They're probably going to be um, around the green chipping on more so rough, um, thick grass, which is much easier than chipping on short grass. It's easier to skull the thing and hit it thin. So that's much easier this week. And also scrambling is going to be very important. Going up and down for par, finding yourself hitting your third shot, maybe in a green side bunker, maybe behind the hole, to the left of the hole. Getting that up and down, finding ways to save par when you don't hit the green, because the greens are very hard to hit here. Like I said, the green and regulation percentage is very low at Harbour Town Golf Links. So one of the main things in my model that I put in was scrambling. Some of the top players here, we have Scotty Scheffler, J.J. Spawn, Matt Kuchar, Tony Finau, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, Danny Willett, Sam Burns, Ben Griffin, and Sung Jae, the Iceman in. Putting. Overseeded Bermuda Pro Trivialis. Small greens, like I said, 3,700 square feet. You're going to have to make putts this week, like every week. This putting modeling out make a huge difference in how well a player is going to play. Do you need to model out putting like crazy? No. You need to have a good putting week though. You can't. I would say you need to really go up and down for par and make those 5 to 7 footers for par. It's going to be huge in keeping yourself in the mix here when you don't hit the greens. So putting, it was light. I think I put like 10 or 15 weight on putting there. I kind of want to get more into the scoring and the comp courses because I think that's the most important here. So scoring, only 3 par 5s in this track, not a birdie fest, and it's not going to be like last week where at Augusta you needed to score on the par 5s to win. Remember I said last week I went through all of those players who ended up winning the Masters and how they did on their par 5 scoring. John Rahm won at 12 under last week, and he went 10 under in par 5 scoring. So now we know next year, par 5 scoring, par 5 scoring, par 5 scoring at Augusta. Not at Augusta, at RBC right now. We lock in on RBC. But for scoring, the main thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to look at players who perform well on short courses and players, who find opportunities to gain on the field. So opportunities gained. What that metric is how often are you giving yourself a look for birdie within 15 feet? Pretty reasonable, not looking for 5 feet, not looking for 10 feet. 15 is very reasonable in that sense. So in those two little buckets there, if we're looking at shots gained short courses, I'm going to give the top 5 because I think that's important here. Taylor Montgomery is 1. Justin Thomas is 2. Patrick Cantlay is 3. Corey Connors is 4. Scotty Scheffler is 5. And now if we move over to opportunities gained, I'll give you the exact meaning of what it is. Birdie opportunities 15 feet or closer relative to the field. The rank here, number 1 is Justin Thomas, number 2 is Gary Woodland, number 3 is Matthew Fitzpatrick, number 4 is Tom Kim, 5 John Rahm, 6 Homa, 7 Scheffler, 8 Ben Martin, 9 Colin, 10 Ben Griffin. So those were the main scoring stats that I wanted to model out. I think that's the most important aspects of scoring here. Knowing how to score on short courses, knowing how to position yourself to hit greens and regulations, to hunt flag sticks, and find ways to make birdies. Find ways, to give yourself opportunities to make birdie. Tapping par is fine. The scoring will come. Got to be dialed in on the approach game, though. Got to be dialed in on the approach game. Comp courses. So in my models, one of the biggest things that I looked into was, who plays well here? Who plays well at Harbour Town? And if we look at this here, Harbour Town, ranking them out, just take a couple, Couple look at some guys. Seamus Power, he popped. He was one of the main guys who popped up. T6 last year, small sample size though. Cam Young, T3 last year, small sample size. Pat Cantlay, he has 4 T7 finishes here, and of that, two of them have been T3s, and one runner-up last year for Jordan Spieth. He lost in the playoff to Jordan. JT Poston, T3 last year, T6 and a T8, all since 2019. Eric Van Rooyen, T21 and 21, T10 in 2020. Pretty good track record. Kuchar's played this event every year since 2008. I don't think he's missed a cut. He won in 2014. He has 5 T10 finishes and 3 T20 finishes. And right now, he is, what's he priced at? I'd say high sevens. Kuchar. Yeah, 7-7. Kuchar's priced at 7-7 of DraftKings if you like playing there. Um, you got to think he's going to make the cut, and the biggest thing there is getting 6-6. But biggest thing is to take a look at what projected ownership looks like in that sense. Other comp courses that I wanted to look at, other comp courses that have the same, build positional type courses, short, not so much driver off the tee, position yourself in the fairway, and use your approach game to hit greens regulation and to make putts. A couple courses are Austin Country Club, which we saw last 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago at the WGC Dell match play. Innisbrook, where the Valspar is held. We went over that course. Sea Island, the Seaside course in particular, Sedgefield Country Club, where the Wyndham Championship is played. Tom Kim won that last year. I really like Sedgefield as a comp course here. So if we're looking at Sedgefield, who plays the best at Sedgefield? Obviously, it's going to be Tom Kim at 1, but other guys with more appearances there. You guys got Victor Hovland, Taylor Moore, Sung Jae's really good there. Brandon Wu's pretty good there. Furyk, who's playing this week, is there. Russell Henley, who had a great week last week at Augusta, plays really well there. So there's a lot of things that you can look into at these other courses to see very similar type courses. How do they play there, and how do they kind of rank up? Have they played Harbour Town before? Do they play well here? The other course I really liked, was Wale Country Club too. Buckley's great there. Jay Rose is great there. Justin Thomas, Morikawa, Corey Connors. See, kind of the same names are kind of popping up. We kind of understand, who kind of fits this model. Who kind of, obviously the big dogs are the big dogs, and they come to play, and they're just got birdie. They're going to run away with it. I don't think there's much value in either Rahm or Scheffler. Rahm coming off that win. Scheffler's never played here before. When I'm going about doing my lineups and trying to look and build my outright card, I haven't made any bets yet. I haven't made a lineup yet. I think I'm staying away from those top two. We'll run through the odds checker board though, and see kind of where value lies. And then, so those were the comp courses. So that's very big to look at. Best comp courses, I would say Austin Country Club, Innisbrook, Sea Island, the Seaside course, Sedgefield, and Wale Country Club. Look back, on random ESPN leaderboards, see how players finish there. Are they in this field? Are they playing well? See how that kind of trending is a little bit. That's going to be huge this week. The odds checker board. Find your best lines here on players in this tournament. Headlined by Scheffler and Rahm. The best prices here you can get on Scheffler is plus 800, Rahm is plus 850. I usually don't take the top two. I just like finding value down the board a little bit, so I'm laying off those cats. Cantlay, 12-1, Colin 18-1, and Spieth and 20-1. I mean, Spieth won this thing last year. I'm sorry. He's playing unbelievable golf. He's really finding his rhythm. It's a really hard to go back to back, but when a guy's playing so well, he's kind of just dialed in. I mean, he'll probably be a really popular DFS play, but I want to see kind of where ownership comes in on Spieth. Same thing as Cantlay as well. Cantlay, Morikawa, and Spieth, I'm kind of the same on. I feel like they're all going to play well this week. It kind of all fits their type of, of course, they're all great off the tee. They all are great approach players around the green. Colin has struggled a little bit, but he played great around the green at Augusta. He also putted very well at Augusta, so it's really good to see from Colin. Moving down here, Victor Hovland at 22, Xander at 26, JT at 28, Sungjae at 28, Finau at 29. It's a good Finau course, I would say. It's another good Sungjae course as well. JT, man, I kind of want to dive into JT. Like, where did Justin go wrong last week? I already looked at it, but I'll preach to you folks. So miscut, he had that horrific day 2, weather pouring, finished 4 under, 1 past the cut line, +3. Off the tee, gained around 2, on approach, lost. Ball striking was barely gained a stroke. And yeah, and then around the green and putter weren't great. Tee to green was brutal. What's his price tag? I think it's pretty cheap. It might be sub 9. 8,900, yeah. Looking at the history since 2018, he came in 8th in 2020, 35th in 2022. How he rakes out in my model. Justin Thomas. I don't even see his name. 17. First in around the green play. We know he's a great around the green player. Looks like he hasn't played well at Sea Island, the Seaside course. Not really great at Sedgefield as well, but his opportunities gained. He's the best in the field, and he's pretty good on short courses. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think last week was kind of a fluke, just given that horrible weather. He had a pretty good round 1, honestly. He's flirting around 1 under, 2 under. I thought he was playing pretty well. Rain killed him. I like that number on him. I think that 89 number is absolutely crazy. I think the last time he was sub 9, he ended up winning a tournament after that. So I give him the benefit of the doubt this week. I think we kind of have a little bit of a foggy memory from what happened last week to him and move forward here. Victor, kind of tough with Victor here. Xander, 26 on Xander's a pretty good price. I know he doesn't model out well, but Xander's stroking the ball like none other right now. Let me deep dive into Xander. 5 in the ball striking. He finished T10 last week. 5 in the ball striking category. Around the green play was stellar. Lost on approach a little bit. Does he play well at the RBC? Maybe that's why he isn't modeling out well. Yeah, he hasn't missed a cut here, but nothing better than a T32 finish. Where does he model out? 16 in my model. Not great at some of these comp courses. Pretty good on short courses. Great scrambler. Great around the green player. Great on approach. It's just some of these comp courses aren't lining up too well with him. But I kind of like that 26 number on Xander. Like I said, I haven't bet anyone yet, but that's a pretty solid number for a guy who's just hitting the ball so well. Sungjae 28, really good on these short and positional type courses. Finau the same way. Getting into the sturdy range, Fitzpatrick, Homa, Lowry, ends that 30 range. Homa 31 is interesting. Didn't have his best stuff last week, but you got to assume he's going to go quick bounce back. Lowry's another player who I was on last week, who I was pretty impressed with last week. I thought Lowry played pretty well. Had a couple rough last 2 rounds, but yeah, he models out well. He comes out to 18 in my model. How good is he? Is he good here? Lowry models out pretty well here. Yeah, T3 last year, T9 in 2020, T3 in 2019. Very nice. Yeah, great last week. Almost 4 off the tee. Ball striking great. Around the green great. Didn't have the putter. He has been struggling with the putter, which might come back to hurt him. But his price is 83. It's not a bad price. There, I think that 33 is a little low, honestly. Obviously, Burns is 40 now. Tom Kim 45. Hatton 45. Yeah, I like Burns is good. Burns has been playing well. He just fucked up like crazy last week. I don't think he models out too well though. Yeah, he's kind of mm, eh, something to look into with Burns. Here we go. Kuchar's 50. Really good here. Henley 50, Connor 66, Fowler 66. Damn. Fowler 66. Willie Z 66. We all know that Will Zalatoris is out for the season. He announced this morning, the injury's too much. He WD'd from the Masters last week, which I know a lot of people didn't like. A lot of people are big Willie Z fans, but we send love to Willie Z. Get better soon, baby, and hopefully he comes back stronger. Justin Rose is 70. Heath is 70. Siwoo is 80. Kirk is 80, who modeled out really well. This is definitely like a Chris Kirk type course. Small, positional, yeah. Models out unbelievable. Chris Kirk models out great. I'm sure he's going to be pretty 7,500. He'll be pretty he'll be pretty popular this week. Sorry, I couldn't even think of the word. I'm just rambling right now. Tom Hoagie at 10-1. I tweeted out today that I thought that was a disrespectful price on Tom Hoagie for how good of wedge player he is, how good of a short iron player he is. Just this iron game in general. He models out pretty well here. Hoagie, Tom Hoagie. Um, Tom Hoagie's the bet. Last 36 rounds, Tom Hoagie ranks first on approach. Great, pretty good on short courses. Opportunities gained looks good. I think that 100 number is a little ridiculous on him. And then we kind of get into the weeds here. But there is some value coming down here. But that'll all come in my outright card. Kind of wanted to give you the layout of the course, what you should be looking for this week at the RBC down in South Carolina this week. I love this tournament. I love the tradition it has the week after the Masters. I know everyone has the Masters hangover and whatnot. Jumping right back in, we don't stop here. Handicap Sports weekly golf preview, weekly tournament preview. We don't stop. Pedal to the metal. Big week RBC here. All my picks out on my Twitter. My card out on my Twitter. Probably going to play DFS heavy. I kind of give out a little pointers on my Twitter. So look out for that. But yeah, big week this week. Real excited for it. Folks, until next time, this has been Handicap Sports, your weekly golf preview, the RBC Heritage on deck. We'll see you folks later.